Thank you. Yeah, so yesterday I talked with a few of you out there, and people asked, like, what real physical games? I thought I'd start with, like, tabletop games. It's board games, things you have on your table in front of you. It's card games, things you play with your friends. And, like, for the past, I would say, like, 20 years, there's been sort of a renaissance of board games becoming better and more common. And if you don't play board games, you should try it. They're fun. So me, I'm Åke, embedded software developer by day. We do rotary encoders at Linde. I'm at Mastodon. You can email me. You can grab me in the corridor later if you like. And together with a friend, we started a board game company. We wanted to make our own board games. And for some reason, we had the hubris to think that it was actually a good idea, that it would work. We started with this huge production that, well, it didn't pan out. So we scaled back. We did smaller games. And since 2018, when we started these productions, we released 2 games. So we have Shitty Duels and Perilous Pond. These small boxes. They sound nice when you shake them, and they're fun to play. So Shitty Duels, a card dueling game with dice and cool-looking samurai. And Perilous Pond, a pusher-like dice game with an ever-changing pond where you try to eat as many fireflies as possible. So this talk will be not as technical as many of the talks before. It will basically outline the flailings I've done when trying to produce these games. So we're going to talk about how you make a tabletop game, what tools we actually ended up with, what was good about them, and what was bad. So, first, making a board game. You need to believe that it's a good idea, and you need to have a good idea of a board game. And then there's a phase of prototyping. You basically want to cut and paste. Then you want to make something that's pretty and show more people. And then you somehow want to contact a factory to make your game. And it's all a bit messy. But let's start in the beginning. When you prototype, you don't actually need a computer. You don't need software. You can just cut pieces of paper, write on them, play with your friends, and see if you can figure out something that's fun. But I'm a Linux user. I knew about Inkscape and thought that would be cool. And you can be very bad at it, but when you're doing cards, it has a really nice feature that's called a rectangle that you can make with rounded corners. So that's basically all you need to create a card. So Inkscape, it's a vector editing software. It's really easy to move things around, try things out. It's page-based. You get basically an A4, and you can check in millimeters how big your things are. And that's really good for when trying to print things. There's a high skill ceiling. You can be very, very good at Inkscape and do amazingly beautiful things. You might see in the previous image that I'm not all that good, but it's enough. And it's fairly modern. You can, you think it's a nice UI when you use it. So, after a while, you have your printed piece of paper, and you have tested it on your friends, and they have said, oh, this is fun, and you actually think that maybe they're not lying. So you go ahead, and in our case, we contacted an artist. In our first game, we contacted a person called Emily Ryan, and she was into manga and things, and she did jewels. We really liked her style, so we started working with her. And after a couple of emails back and forth, we got like a dump of a big zip file with a bunch of files and stuff, and these were all like Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator and things. So what I needed was to have something that could actually work with these files, could open them, and if possible, make some changes. So I went back to like the first graphic software I tried on Linux when I first started using it, GIMP. It's not vector-based, it's basically pixel by pixel editor. It's great for common action, changing color levels, etc. And it's actually pretty good at reading Photoshop files. It has had a clunky UI, it's still not great, but it's improving. And it's, well, yeah, it worked. So we could actually do some changes. So on the left, we have like what a Photoshop file looked like when we received it. And the first time when we got it, there were like mouse layers that didn't actually work. We had to manually edit some of the layers to change colors, but the one we used for the final production, we had received an update and could actually just do things more easily. And for editing, we needed to, the box cover we ordered wasn't exactly as the final delivery needed, so we needed to like extend and corrupt some of the blanks in the corner to make it look good when everything was folded. And even I, a pretty non-graphical person, could actually get something that didn't look terrible. And in this case, Inkscape is still useful. Cards are still rectangles, rounded corners, so you can prepare for print and get things looking pretty snazzy. Yes, so in addition, in our little frog game, we have a big pipe, for example, which needs to be cut out of wood. We contacted a company called Meeple Studio in Holland, which just wanted, give us a PDF with the shape of the thing, so we could just use Inkscape, export PDF, and get something that was exactly the size we wanted. So everything is excellent. Then we went around to different conventions and let people try the game. We made some changes, we tried to make the rules less clunky, and after a while we thought, hey, we can actually, this could be a game that we could sell for actual money. And we started contacting producers. There are lots of producers of board games nowadays. We have lots in Asia, but we tried to contact the producers in Europe just to speed up communication and to not be stuck in like transport limbo when waiting for containers to arrive from the other side of the world. So, when we talk to a production company, things get a bit technical. You basically get a list of requirements. It should be certain PDF format, there should be color profiles, there should be overprint and things. And yeah, things that I was not a design person, all of this was like news to me. I have heard CMYK, but I thought, hey, that's just something, another way of describing color, which should be fine, right? Yeah. But we realized like the GIMP doesn't really lend itself to the CMYK at all. Inkscape, same deal there. It's actually coming along. They will have some CMYK support, but nothing that I was used to actually worked. So I was thinking, oh, will I need to get the Windows install, get some Adobe product to actually do this? But Googling, as you do, I stumbled upon Scribus, which is desktop publishing software, things for making magazines and similar things. And it's a very competent suite of software. It can handle basically everything we got as a requirement. It works great with SVGs, so we could import things from Inkscape, mostly. And it's very good at exporting PDF. And, but for CMYK, it worked, but there's a bunch of layers in the CMYK port. You should probably know your monitor, how that works in color representation, and then you need to import the color profile from the printer. And this is something that worked kind of bad. There are many different descriptions of how you should do it on Linux operating system. And when I tried every one of them, it worked across all the softwares, but you had to really lots of manual putting files in secret folders and things like that. And then you needed to convert the images, the RGB images. We got some, part of the delivery from our artist was actually CMYK, but I didn't dare use that because I didn't know how it would interact with the GIMP and Inkscape, which I used to modify things. And so we went with the RGB, which is something I usually understand, and converted. And first, I tried ImageMagick. It's a great tool. You can do basically anything to an image that you need, but it's really hard to understand exactly what it is you're doing. So we found this software, Cyan, which is a really intuitive piece of software. It does one thing. You load an image, it tells you what input color profile it has, allows you to set an output color profile, and then store that image. So it was like a revelation. Hard to automate, though, once you had found what settings were good, but usually you need to inspect them anyway. Okay, this is an awkwardly placed slide about PDF versions. So when you read about PDF, there are, like the first version of PDF is from 92, I think. And it's always been about printing. That's not what I've been thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. It's portable because you can send it to people and they can read it. but it's actually portable because you can send it to a printer and it will print the same way as you intended to print. But they have had lots and lots of iterations over time. The one we should use in our latest game was PDF/X-4, which has embedded color profile and transparency and other neat things. And then for doing box art, you get a PDF with die lines, as they were called. We didn't realize that these were die lines when we got them the first time, but those are specially named colors that the printer, not actually the printer, the device printer, but the person who does the printing can use to validate that the output is what it should be. So the printer machine will actually remove these die lines based on the name of the color. And that's also something Scribus can handle very well. Then one of the things we didn't get in the requirement, but something we learned from our contact that was adamant that, remember, for text you must use overprint. And then overprint, what the heck is that? And basically, when printing, the printer normally removes everything. If you have an object placed upon another object, so in this case we have lots of lighter square above a background image. In normal mode or knockout, the printer will not print the background when printing the boxes, and then because if the background was printed before and you put another layer of paint upon that, it would the color would blend and it would be incorrect. But for black text, since the black printhead doesn't follow the colored printheads, there can be a slight offset and you can get white around your characters and things will get blurry. And the problem is, the same goes for edges. So if you have an object which has an outline of one color and an interior of one color, you need to separate those into the outline and the box. And for the rules document here, we have over 1,000 different objects, and there's no easy way to check it built into Scribus. So that was sort of a hassle. Yeah, I think, yeah. And then, back to the wooden components. So when working with a real shop, they don't accept PDFs. You need a DXF format or something. Had no idea, but thought, well, maybe FreeCAD can save me. And FreeCAD can import SVGs, so I could use my previous SVG and just load it, export it, and send it off to the woodcutter. Cool. Okay. Think time for this. Yeah. So honorable mentions. PDF tools. Super tools. Very good when you want to check your things before sending them off, making sure that all your images are converted to ICC profile and that your PDF document has the right bleed lines and color spaces and everything. Then we did a crowdfunding for Perilous Pond, and Blender was great to work with to make a small little trailer for the game, and to cut the trailer we used OpenShot. Very easy to get going. And what I wanted to get at here is basically tying back to what Daniel said yesterday morning, that it wasn't really a problem to get this done using open source software. I needed to Google a couple of times, but there was great tools and great people to talk to about these tools. I think it's really awesome that without any extra effort, this was done using open source tools. I don't know how this compares to commercial tools, but it's not too bad. And things that open source allows for is like, remember we had a problem with overprint and checking our file for it. We have Python. We have Scribus has a great user or documentation of the file format, so we could just parse the XML file and look for anything that is overprint and see, is this a color that isn't black? If it isn't black, there's an error. If it's a color that's black that isn't overprint, that's an error, note it, and then we could just fix it. And it isn't really open source unless you try to contribute back. For some of these, we actually pushed a couple of euros their way, and I've gotten into translating Scribus. If you're good at graphic design and Swedish terms for things, check out their translation page, because I'm guessing a lot and Googling a lot, so. In the final thing we actually done, we used an icon pack by Sinister Design for like player count, playtime, ages, etc. And the format was a bit wonky, so they shared it under CC0 license. So we took them, we improved a bit upon them, and we put them up on GitHub. So if anyone is making a board game and wants some nice simple icons for these things, it's available. Okay. Finally, I can breathe again. You've been a lovely audience. Do we have questions?
No, you get the question.
Yeah, so I presume you're going to do this again. What will you change this time?
So I think nothing in this stack. I would like to work more with version control of rules, etc. My partner isn't very technical. So we will see if we can arrange something like that. I've also fallen in love with Markdown, so if we could do less layout on rules, etc., and just use Markdown and some templating system, that would be great. I am working on a piece of code to generate cards instead of using Inkscape to generate the sheets. Yeah, things like that.
Where can we buy your games?
I got a couple in my oversized bag, and they are in a couple of stores. World of Board Games, Dragon's Lair, Yeah, and online from our web page.
So you showed the application that you ended up using, and I can assume you probably tested a lot of things that didn't work before you found Tabletop and so on. So do you have any stories to tell about those?
Not really. Those were kind of short. Before discovering Scribus, we tried to do like PDF exports and things using Inkscape only. And that didn't work at all for the printer technical reasons. So no real war stories. I went with what I knew except for Scribus.
Just one comment on GIMP and CMYK. So the last version of GIMP 3.0, which was released like a month ago or maybe two now, does support CMYK in at least for soft proofing and stuff like that. So it has gotten some things in that might be of interest.
Yeah, I know it's coming along, but it's I don't think it was quite there yet. It was mainly import.
I think they do soft proofing, which it can do, but on the it does nothing with overprint and all this stuff. So I think for your complexity or this kind of thing, you probably want to use something like Scribus in it. But just for others, no.
Comparing the GIMP thing, I was wondering if you used Krita at all? Because I think it had CMYK support, and it also had a PDF export, but it's a raster program, so.
I know about Krita, and I think it's probably an equal alternative to GIMP, but I haven't actually used it. I'm not very into the K suite of software.
It could solve all your problems.
At least it's not by any Okay, on that note, if there are no more questions, I'm going to say thank you very much, Åke. That was fantastic.
Thank you.